Heard you a snitch, nigga be quiet cause you could get bitch. I keep a chopper, it's loaded. Hop with the rolls, got my name on the curtain. Fucking your thought and I do that for certain. And I stay clean like detergent. Popping on Xannies and popping on Perk. Burn up on me, you get cut like a turkey. I just want this bitch inside of Billy. I'm open no roof, got stars up on the roof. So my freedom.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode. I want to say this is episode 12 of What If Izuku Midoriya was Dr. Octopus. Let's get into this shit. Because I'm tired and I still have yet to drink the rest of my coffee. But yeah, on the best terms, let's get this shit on the road. So, after the little fucking and swapsies that they had with David Shields' daughter, they kind of just and Izuku let her keep the quirk. Works like in that type of regeneration, quirk was like the no move from the USJ regeneration to that extent. So yeah, she ain't quirkless no more. Technically. But the best thing about it is, like, David has little to no proof that they cut her finger off. Like, other than the fact that, hey, there's like 50 to 60 fucking lightning bolts that converged on a position in the middle of the road. But, when it comes down to the entirety of who's who and what happens next to Izuku and, the group now formerly known as Hydra, fuck it, and go back to base where they hear screaming. I mean, Nine's like, what the fuck is that? And Izuku thinks, and I was like, yeah, who the fuck is that? Like, Izuku actually looks confused. Looks like through to Toga's cell through a one-way. Hey, Glass, and he's like, oh fuck, I forgot she was here. Like, how long was she here? Here, and he looks at fucking 13, and he's like, 4 days? And he's like, the fuck? God damn, how long has she been conscious? 3 days? Oh my fucking god, okay. Man, one moment. And he tells everyone to do the, like, kind of, fuck off. Yeah, he goes in, like, finally actually remembering why the fuck he grabbed Toga to begin with for interrogation. Toga fucking actually seeing the door open for the first time after she was screaming for over an hour. He's like, about goddamn time! Like, just all this shit. And Izuku, like, just walks over, like, uses a tentacle to slam, like, grab her by her mouth. And it's like, shut the fuck up. I have a question, miss. I think they called you Toga? I don't really care. Anyway, where's the main base of operation of All For One? If you tell me, I will not give you the treatment that the doc got. Oh, you didn't... Oh yeah, there was a hologram. That makes sense. Ugh. But yeah, let me, I crucified him. Honestly. Like, Toga was already freaked out as soon as this kid walked in the room. Now she's even more terrified. It's like, yeah, no, he's dead. Where's All for One's main location? Once I let your mouth go, if you say anything else than that, I'm nailing a finger to the wall. Like, not your palm, the tip of your middle finger to the wall, and I will go from there. There, he lets go. She immediately starts spilling the fucking beans. All of the spaghetti falling out of her pockets. But yeah. Yeah, he's just like, huh. And he, like, goes to, like, reach for something, pulls out a small file. He, like, made a file on, like, Toga and Compress, the two people that survived. After the attack. And he's like, alright, so here's my offer to you. You have stealth capability. You have well, strong abilities all in all. Plus the extra quirk that All for One gave you was exquisite. It was already copied and placed onto 17. She's asking questions. Izuku just flat out says, shut the fuck up. Listen. I'm gonna put a fucking bomb chip in the roof of your mouth. If you do not comply to my orders, it will explode. That kind of shit. So, hold the fuck still, or I might just kill you. Because I'm trying to place this shit into, like, the base of your skull. And, it's, kind of interesting. Because Toga doesn't move. Like, Toga's freaked the fuck out of it. Yep, so she follows orders. He's like, good. He snaps his fingers. The chains holding her come loose. She falls to the floor. Alright, so, your room will be in blank, blank, and blank. Go there. There's an extra set of clothes. Yeah, welcome to Hydra. And he just walks out. Out, and he opens the door. There is a shower in your room. Take when you smell like shit. And he just walks out. Not really giving a fuck. Like, none of them heard everything that was said. And he's like, what? And he's like, don't ask too many questions. I'm not in the mood to answer them. It's just like, he begins walking. But, back to what we left off on last episode. Mirio reaches his phone to call his father. And, his crying father answers the phone. And, if any of you have watched Hellsing Ultimate, abridged, I want you to imagine that conversation, but basically I'm telling him to get All for One, the location, and kill him. Or both Mirio Togata's mother, father, and young sister dies. Now, there was a lot of stuttering. And the reason that, and he was crying, like in Hellsing Ultimate, Izuku took a testicle. And, thank God he was under hologram in voice changer. Well, actually, no, Izuku wouldn't be doing this. Fucking, 7 would be. Because he has mimic. I'm stupid. That's my fault. But, yeah. Izuku's just kind of orchestrating shit in the background where, like, no one could see him. And that's basically, like, the testicle thing happens. And what do I mean by testicle thing? He, like, is stuttering, and he's like, oh god. He gets pistol whipped. Not knocked out. And he says, read it right or right. Take the other testicle. Like, one of those situations. It's, like, really bad. And like, there is zero hesitation with 7. Like, he don't give a fuck. Fuck. And, legit, how he ended the phone call was him grabbing the phone, shooting right next to his father's head, and hanging up the phone. Not shooting his father, mind you, just like, hey, but, Togeda, fucking Mirio. And this was in front of the police. And that phone was on speaker. His ass, like, they heard that entire situation. And that was the ultimatum given. After that, at 9, knocks his ass unconscious, drags him to the place where his parents were. He did not actually take a testicle from his father. I want that to be known. But, like, 7 is the interrogator / like, I'ma fuck with people type of creation, so yeah. Izuku 7 kind of just rehooks him up to the, little sedative drip and IV that he had him going on. But yeah. Izuku happy because he thinks that shit's gonna go perfectly. And because Mirio is told what he needs to do to not have his family murdered, and like the police, David Shield, all that shit, legit, like, they're like, we like, we can't just fucking, so like, they don't check on the books to see if that shit's legitimate. Because, like, they kind of just have Night Eye try and use his future sight. And they realize, oh no, that's the place. And, fuck, it's not as well fortified. So, yeah. Now, I want this to be known, All For One doesn't really have any fucking no moves anymore. So he's throwing actual bodies at people now. Oh, and he does have, like, powered individuals working for him now that he has been forcing, like, to buff them because he's, like, at this point, 2 high-end officers basically on his fucking little regiment that he has going on fucking disappeared. And one of them ended up being crucified in the other one's stead. So, yeah. That's just kind of fucked. Izuku, who just waiting, like doing his usual shit. 2, like not really getting into trouble at school, going on dates with fucking Mina and shit, having a fucking blast. It's just like, it's weird because like Izuku's slowly but surely like making Mina's mindset different, which he is trying to do, and it's working fairly well. Mina isn't stupid or easily manipulated, but Izuku's just really good at reading people. Let's just say he's like a dark empath. He could read your shit and manipulate the dog shit out of you. And he doesn't use guilt trips. Because that's just a stupid way to do it. But, yeah, when it comes down to it, Izuku, out of all the people, is like, man, life is good. And since, like, 9 and them are, like, under Izuku, which I'm gonna be real with you, like, Chimera fucking challenges Izuku's authority a lot. Which led into a sparring match between him and Chimera. Without Izuku's arms. You will now learn what Izuku's quirk is. Well, list of quirks that he gave himself. Izuku and Chimera are on the field. Chimera charges off rip because he doesn't want to like fix the facility if it actually gets fucked up. So yeah. And what Izuku does, if you have ever watched the webtoon series The Boxer, it is the equivalency of God, like there was this dude with red hair, super fucking spiky teeth against like our pale protagonist. And dear Lord, he beat the dog shit out of him. Now, I want you to imagine that fight with Izuku pulling super strength along the lines with, God, what was it? Hold up. One moment. Yeah, I want you to imagine the fight with Jean Puree versus you from the Boxer webtoon series. Like, Izuku goes into that stance and just starts beating the dog shit out of Chimera. And Chimera actually just goes fucking ball to the wall all out because he doesn't think he's kind of confused and scared on how this kid is beating the dog shit out of him like this. I can't even touch him. And the entire time, Izuku, like, had, like, his killing intent finally, like, it's no longer a leak. The dam has finally burst. Which made everyone realize why Izuku is the way he is. He has a mentality that is, if not just as weird as Nine's. The mentality is simple. Kill the weak. If they refuse to rise to better proportion. So what happened? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Chimera, like, freezes as soon as, like, Izuku, like, actually let loose all of his fucking killing intent. And Izuku landed a solid fucking hit. Like, now, what do I mean by solid hit? I mean, like, he actually fucking landed a hit straight into his snout. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, like, not to, like, the left or right. I mean, like, his knuckles hit nose and drove his, like, head backwards with it, and just started wailing on Chimera. Chimera was sent fucking spiraling into a wall, and Izuku's still leaking this killing intent, which all of the Nomu fucking react to almost in unison, in fear and in excitement. And, like, Nine is impressed and kind of fucking scared. Fucking Mummy and Slash are just like, what the fuck? And Chimera feels like he's about to die. Like, every primal thing in his head's like, oh, you're fucked, homie. This thing about to kill you. Like, it's almost like natural selection when it comes to, like, geese fucking, like, thinking that the road is water after it rains, and they just kind of fucking cream themselves on the road. So, like, yeah, it's kind of really fucking not good. It's bad. And Izuku just walks up and just says, as he grabs him by his, like, fucking, like, partially broken, fractured snout, and just picks him up, brings him to eye level, and says, "You will not question my orders again. Are we understood?" Chimera, still, like, fucking wincing in pain, not happy at all. Like, so fucking not okay. He's not okay at all. Feeling so much fucking pain. And he's just like, And he's like, good. Go to the fucking medical wing. And don't leave a fucking blood trail. And he just drops him. Awesome. And as soon as he lets go, the killing intent stops. Which, like, Toga was having was passing out. She couldn't handle it. Like, she actually couldn't breathe for, like, damn near a solid minute. And because, like, this was, like, yeah, sure, it was targeted bloodlust like Stain, but it was on a different level than, like, Stain, period. Stain trained his body to superhuman limits in one category only. Izuku did that. Izuku did that to every fucking category of his body. His strength, his speed, his intelligence. All of them. He has been broken and put together so many times. His bones are damn near as dense as steel. And with the quirks that whereas just enhancing him, he only used one quirk, which I will reveal now. He calls it Death's Embrace. It is an emotional trigger. And a subconscious emotional trigger at that. When Izuku is at his wit's end in unbridled rage, he snaps. His mental faculties shut down. Everything else but his fight or flight. And since Izuku's body could, like, just keep up with the quirk, it's always fight. It's not going to be a flight response. It's going to be a, I'm going to beat you until you are either dead or so close you'll wish to be. Until you are not perceived as a threat. And that's like anytime Izuku's in, like, a situation where violence can occur. You just need to hit Izuku once with literally anything. And your ass is his. For 50 fucking minutes. That's how long it lasts. 50 minutes. And once that shit runs out, since he has another quirk that allows him to be able to walk away from that. Damn near no scratch. It's despicable. It's just fucking horrendous, dog. When it comes down onto Izuku, he is like, I want to say, like 2 9s that were smashed together. Like double 9s power level in scale. Izuku, when he lets all of his quirks out, you're fucked. Like, he would give Mirio a hard fucking time. Like, he already does without them. Yeah, sure, All for One fucking boosted his quirk and its capabilities, like, what, 9 times? 8 times? Okay. I have a quirk that literally, like, only lets me know how to fight. And literally nothing can break my focus from the fight. Because you could drug the shit out of Izuku. Right? And like he needs to do is like feel pain. And it's an automatic response. And Izuku fucks you up, dog. It's not even kidding. Like, if someone were to like do the shit that he does to people to kidnap them, like a fucking twinge of pain at all, your ass is fucked. Like, nah, you're not getting him like that. Because yeah, sure, you're putting his body to sleep. You're not putting his mind to sleep. Which is literally what this is based off of. His mind and his psyche. And like that plus Izuku's fanaticism for changing things is higher than Stain's fucking blatant fanaticism, which I'ma get to, don't worry. Because there is going to be a public announcement about what has been going on with this group called Hydra. And something will happen during that public announcement. But more importantly, Izuku, when it comes down to his strength level at this point in time, Izuku doesn't care about his self-being. I have told you this already. When he fights, his objective is to put you in a coma each time he fights you. And since Izuku goes to a hero school where it's very easy to get people's DNA, like fucking Mirio's, for example, he won't be able to get all for one. I mean, one for all. But he'll damn well get his permeation. You understand what I mean now? And Nomu's. There's a possibility that Izuku could possibly circumvent the Nomu's. Well, the blindness of the quirk. Well, most of the downsides of his abilities, really. I'm talking about Mirio's specifically. That and the blatant fact that, like, it's so easily to get DNA from people. Like, all you really need to do is fucking, like, walk by them. Like, after a sweaty game of fucking, like, basketball or some shit. And accidentally, like, bump into them. That's all you need. Because most people use their hands to fucking wipe sweat out their face. So, tell me, after, like, that game, you fucking go to wipe your fucking hand on shit. Or, better yet, you don't even need to bump into them. They just, like, put their hand on something. They go back out to fucking play like a water bottle. You just get a fucking Q-tip in bag. Like, bam. That's it. That's all you need to do. And, like, you think people like 21 and shit aren't doing that for Izuku? 21, number 7. Like, those two are, like, very big players in Izuku's chess game. Because, like, they could get on UA campus without anybody fucking knowing. Which they have multiple times to look up specific shit on heroes. For instance, not Aizawa, but Vlad King. And, well, I'm gonna say this now. Vlad's fucked if he ever fights Izuku. And I mean this in the most literal way. He is fucked. if he even tries to, like, fight him, period. Like, at all. He's just not going to be able to do a damn thing to him. Which, granted, most people already can't do shit to him. So, yeah. So, we're going to skip forward about an hour. Making a public address of multiple kidnappings, all this other shit. Because, I'm not going to lie to you, Hydra is known at this point by the public. And All Might's on the stand, and, well, some interesting things are happening. Like, after All Might gets done, and the broadcast is supposed to end, and most news outlets try to switch back, like, they physically can't, and, like, the screen gets, like, a Hydra insignia on it, in a black background. And they say, they say, you label me a villain. Why exactly? Because I kidnap people? Well, I haven't harmed anyone. Once. Bodily. Physically, not at all. Matter of factly, I kept them quite safe from other people. You see, I'm going to tell you something that the Hero Association doesn't believe that people need to know. There is a villain out there that, well, has the possibility, given enough time, to be stronger than All Might. Now, what do you mean by this? Oh, it's simple. There is a man that could steal quirks. I know, it's strange. It's unheard of. It's inconceivable. But yes, it exists. All Might has fought him before. To all of the wonderful, wonderful people out there that do research and on specifically All Might, I want you to go back specifically to the year, and he gives them the year of the toxic chainsaw cover-up, and he says, that's not really what happened. All Might was injured. Not by the toxic chainsaw, by this quirked individual known as All for One. All for One, according to any and all sources that I have been able to find, he has been able to give and take quirks away. Interesting, isn't it? A man who could seemingly take the gifts from those tyrants and possibly give them to the good people. Or vice versa. And the interesting thing is, after he took something from All Might, which, well, it's not a thing. Well, at the moment it is. She is. Because she is dead. A woman by the name of Nana Shimura. Nana Shimura was All Might's teacher. Helped him hone his powers. All that shit. But, here's the interesting thing. All for One killed her after she saved his life. admirable, she died a hero's death. Also, we're gonna go back to the toxic chainsaw incident. And subtitles fucking appear on screen with quotes. But, he fought that man there. And a picture of All For One back then appears on screen. All For One is a man that has been attempted to be killed multiple times. And, one by a man by the name of Toshinori Yagi, also known as and a picture of a young All Might appears on screen. Now, granted, I have tried to kill this man. It's not much of a stretch. He is too dangerous to be in Tartarus prison, but the interesting thing is, he wasn't killing him for that. He was killing him because he wanted revenge for Nana, which, granted, revenge is a thing that is very difficult to get. Now, specifically on the street of and I don't know the actual streets where he ended up fighting All For One. No one does. I'm just gonna say Izuku knows the fucking streets. And, well, that day, 2 blows were made that changed both sides forever. And a picture of All For One without his mask and Small Might appear on screen. Turns out All Might's quirk is a bit of a transformation-based quirk. Multiple times, a man by the name of well, fuck it, I'm not going to lie to you. Toshi has been dealing with a side wound, and, a picture of All Might, like Small Might, like taking his shirt off, like in a laundromat, and then like about to put on a wife beater. Like a snapshot was taken of his injured side. He lost he lost his lung and most of his circulatory system. Which is why, during that time, he's been running off of borrowed time, it seems, to be a hero. Which, applause go to him. He goes through excruciating pain every day. But, All For One, I know you're watching, and the interesting thing is he has gotten his hands on a quirk that I fear might tip the balance the scales of things dramatically. What are the scales to which you speak of? Oh, simple. He went from that picture to the one on top again. Good as new. Now, I know you're wondering, how? How does that happen? Oh, well, simple. There was a little girl, well, I think daughter of a Yakuza boss, named Eri. This child had a power, from what we could tell, a mutation, to, turn back the hands of time on someone. And what do I mean by on someone? I mean people in general. She didn't know how to use this quirk. And since I destroyed their main hideout, killing about half of the League of Villains, well, not half, like 99% of their assets, i.e. their men, tried to drop a building on them, didn't really work, but hey, gotta put in that college try, gotta go plus ultra all the fucking time. But anyway, back to reality. All for One's fresh. He's waiting on the bleachers for another good show. And he's probably not gonna get one with All Might. Toshi... This may seem as if you're on an 18-karat bad luck trip, but there are things that are going on behind the scenes that the citizens do not know once again. I have told All Might and the Hero Society the location of them. And what do? They wait. So, I guess I will have to prove a point. It has been over a week and I have seen no action. Since you wish so very much to not allow justice to be served on someone, there will be an equal punishment for it. I told you what to do, Mirio, and you didn't do anything. 248 Olive Street. And that's where it cuts off. Now, what they find there is simple. The synthetically made head of Mirio Togata's father. Yeah, this is getting dark. Now, Mirio thinks his father's dead, when in reality, Izuku just kind of cloned him. Cut the clone's head off and just kind of sent that shit there. And, had, like, the head specifically, like, in the ribcage of the body. In full view for everyone to see. Which, pictures of the body, well, not pictures, but, like, talk of what happened circulates like a motherfucker. Which, in that thing it says, you have 2 days before I do it to the to the wife and make your daughter eat the daughter eat the body. And like, and he just like, that's the DVD shoved in dude's mouth. So yeah, like, you're gonna do something, or I am. Like, Izuku's starting to get pissed off on their like impatience. And All For One is trying like hell to move shop somewhere else, and he can't. Like, Izuku has barred off any and all other ways for him to fucking, like, be able to survive. Granted, he has a fuck ton of hideouts. Izuku found most of them, ransacked them, and then just started, like, placing bots in there. Like a fuck ton of, like, suicide drones. Like, All For One almost died going to one. And he's like, I'm not about to take a fucking chance. Hence, to go to any more of these. Like, like, All For One's fucked. Like, the Yakuza, like, what's left of the Yakuza forces that work for All For One are preparing for fucking war. They're like, ah, shit, this is bad. This is no bueno. It's bad. So, like, they're, like, trying to fucking, like, get, like, everyone set up and ready. So, everything's kind of just waiting. And, Izuku ended up, for, like, that entire day, hijacking a channel and just having, like, a really big ass fucking, what was it? Hourglass that has 2 days written on the side of it. That's pointing towards, in the Hydra insignia emblazoned on the glass. And, it starts. Izuku having to act scared like the rest of his classmates. And him finally being able to, like, manipulate Mina enough to bring her into the fold of Hydra, which is great. And since, like, Izuku basically became a fucking sensation, Izuku got a fair bit more recruits. Like, a lot of people, which, granted, like, Izuku has a lot of foot soldiers now. People that he arms with very high-tech weaponry and armor. Izuku's not fucking around anymore. Like, they're ready to go to war. Because while, like, they're raiding fucking All For One's place, they're gonna be raiding somewhere else. Because, like, people really, like, rarely expect prisons to be attacked from the outside. Granted, it happens, especially in superhero society, but, like, they don't expect, like, suicide drones fucking flying over the building and just dropping payloads. No one expects that. So legit, like, 2 hours later, I mean, not 2 hours, like, after the first day is up, Izuku has, like, tripled his numbers in the first hour of, like, that, like, in that one fucking, like, he got a lot of fucking people. And he's, like, already prepared for this. He's already has a fuck ton of armor and weaponry being made and are being dished out to people. Granted, like, all of them have to get a shot to, like, improve their loyalty. Well, not improve, prove their loyalty, which is literally like a bomb. Like a bomb chip placed in the back of their head. Which they don't know what it is. Izuku just says, like, it's a version of trigger that lasts for longer, and could, in some cases, boost quirks permanently. Which, they're gonna take that shit. So, yeah. Izuku kind of, like, just getting a fuck ton of foot soldiers after, like, that first day. And it's, like, the afternoon. That's when the raid on Shisaki's place was supposed to happen. And, Izuku did go there. And All Might specifically asked for Izuku to go there, so he had to. So, like, 9 of them know the plan. To break as many people out of Tartarus. Distribute the weapons. So they could take over Japan. That is their goal. Because that is the biggest and most secure prison in Japan. For supers. And, like, non-supered individuals. Like, that is the raft of fucking, and, like, super-powered inmates. You're fucking great. You're in. So, yeah. Izuku just kinda getting ready. Like, everything's set up. Mario's parents are literally in a van across the street from fucking, well, like 1 block away from the, location. And, like, there's another, like, fucking, like, there's a laptop in there. Because as soon as that happens, like, Izuku's dropping a bombshell, and, he's gonna let it ring, let's just say. Izuku, during the attack on the base that All For One is currently hiding in, which, like, they just needed a lot of people because they, like, didn't know how many people All For One had. So they just went with as much people as they could get because, like, we don't know if we were gonna have to kill him or not. And, like, there are no, like, there were physically, like, not allowed to be any press there. Like, by, like, the equivalency of, like, fucking feds being like, no cameras. Nah. No cameras, no fucking press, y'all gotta skip. Or y'all might die. Which, like, all of the press are kind of like, okay, then, like, the fuck off. Most of them do. And, specifically ones tipped off by Izuku, kind of just like, Trust me, stay there. So, Izuku, during the raid, they were told, like, hey, this person is not allowed to go to prison. So, because he can't go, you'll actually need to put him down. Which, like, yeah, sure, it's dark as fuck for My Hero Academia, but, like, let's be real. If All For One was in real life, his ass would get immediate death penalty. Like, I don't know what the fuck you mean. Especially if he broke out of prison once. Nah, death penalty to the son of a bitch. Get him! But yeah. But, in all reality, Izuku actually, like, knowing exactly what he needs to do to, like, get to where he wants to go. Which, he gets there pretty easily. He gets to a little room with, some chemicals. This is the trigger supply. And Izuku presses a button on a small box. The box opens up into like a small little portal-esque thing, and Izuku just starts throwing the boxes of trigger in. And no one really knows where he is during that time. After Izuku is done taking all of the boxes of trigger, throwing them through the portal, collapsing the portal, and going to try and find out where the fuck the main fight's at. And, Izuku sees All For One, All Might, Mirio, and a fuck ton of other people duking it out. And then Izuku just, like, walks behind all of the heroes that are fighting and just watches. And then All For One notices him. Izuku's just sitting back, arms crossed, looking at him, smiling. And then, he, holds up a button, presses it, and, as that button is pressed, explosives go off, taking down the building. As Izuku jumps out the window, which he was standing by. I must say this building was 4 stories high. Then we're on the 3rd story. Most of the people inside died, except for All For One, Mirio, and Mina wasn't there, so he didn't really give a fuck about anyone else, especially Katsuki. So, like, no one survived except for those accounted for people. And Izuku just stands there amongst all of these, like, dead, dying, and injured heroes and just says, well, it seems like the cat's out of the bag, isn't it? All For One's injured. There's, like, a piece of rebar sticking out of his fucking, like, left shoulder. Like, rocks and glass and shit stuck into his back and in his front. He's not doing good at all. Same with All Might. The only one that's kind of, like, fine is Mirio. And Mirio's looking like, what the fuck? Like, what is he talking about? And, like, Izuku just says, people these days, they don't know how to deal with their problems. And he's saying this while he's smiling. You know, innocent Izuku smile. this, it is sad to say, we have come to the end of our time. All of them look at, like, Izuku, like, what the fuck? And All For One, like, finally realizes what he's saying and tries to use a teleportation quirk. And before he uses the quirk, his head slams into the floor off of his body as 47 odd people, like, appear out of invisibility with the insignias of Hydra. Mario, All For One, everyone that's, like, survived was in shock. Izuku, smiling, walks towards All Might and says, Toshi, you're a good man, but the world that you have brought is rotten. A land filled with such incompetence. I plan to change that first. Once it comes down to everything, you and your people disgust me. And there's like a single cameraman, like, watching this, and this shit's like on. Oh shit, there's someone that. This what it. This is a cool one. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Panda. Potato boy. Anyway. He's like, when it comes down to it, everything has a price. And I figured something out. The best way to deal with your opposition is to stomp them out like rats. As all of the what you now would recognize as Nomu would also uncloak and realize how many there are. There's upwards of 200 people surrounding them and Izuku. And all things is insane. But Izuku continues. All Might, you have been a symbol of peace. In a time where it was never peaceful. Killers, rapists, murderers, just all these things. Degenerates. All of them serve a little purpose. I know one thing that I told Shigaraki Tomura when I killed him twice, Dabi, which I then realized was Toya Todoroki, which I found kind of funny. He burnt to death. Damn shame. If only he worked for me. Mario's just looking wide-eyed. Same with fucking All Might. And those who did, like, partially survive, which I am going to say Endeavor did survive, along with Ryuk. Ryuko and fucking Mirako barely. And Izuku says this. Do you know what is interesting? The ability to synthesize quirks. I was already a monster without them. I was able to take down the likes of Mirako by myself. And I was able to give those, such as other people, a run for their money. But you interest me so much, Mirio. He's going to pull out a very small thing. He's going to throw it on the floor, and a hologram, a live stream, would appear on said hologram of his parents beginning to wake up in the van, along with their daughter. I didn't kill your father. I killed a double. During my entire time, I have never hurt a single person that has not killed or done worse to someone else. This world, I have realized, is filled with idiots and degenerates. And most of them just live. But no. Mirio, I offer you something that, if you do not take, I will actually kill your parents, along with your little sister. My question is, will you kneel? If you care about them, if you love them, kneel. If not, a collar around each of their neck beeps red, and a countdown marker appears for 10 seconds, when in reality it is 15. The timer starts now. Make your decision. Mirio, I see as someone selfless that would do things for people that he loves with zero hesitation. He says, fine. I will work with you. Izuku nods with a smile, as All Might looks enamored, just fucking mouth stuck out, fucking, the fuck? It's like, how the fuck did I, just looks of shock on people's face. Endeavor just looks, and he says to Mirio, your first step, give me the quirk, and I will let one of your choice leave the van. They are 1 block away. Give me the quirk, and I will let one of your choice leave the van right now. And if you don't, well, I don't believe you'll have a family to go back to. Mirio nods and just like, he's bleeding already. He just walks over to Izuku. Izuku knows that if he were to try something, everyone there would die with the quirk. So, he doesn't really care. Because Izuku has, like I said, he has an overshield, which is fucking useful for a situation like these. And Izuku waits. He, gets a drop of his blood. Izuku licks it. And as soon as that shit, it doesn't even need to digest. As soon as that shit's in, his quirks get boosted. Because it's blood. Izuku inhales and exhales, feeling the rush of such power into him. And he said, the timer has already paused. Which one? Your father, your mother, or your sister? My sister. Good choice. The collar falls off. The van doors clearly open, causing light to go in as a hand grabs his sister, takes her out, shuts the doors. And his sister appears right next to him. And Izuku pulls out a small injector. Turn around. It's like, turn around, or I have them fire. Killing you, your sister, and subsequently force me. I'm going to end up fucking toying with your parents afterwards. Now, turn around. Yeah. Izuku, who after Mirio turns around with regret, and to, like, comfort his sister, a chip gets placed on the back of Mirio's head, and he says, welcome to Hydra, Mirio. Now, take your sister, go to, and he pulls out a piece of paper, this address, and get your family, and leave. You will report to me daily. Yes, sir. Mirko takes his sister and begins going, using what's left of One for All, to just kind of hop to his family's vehicle, which is now, there were 5 guards by it, which as soon as they see Mirio, fucking, all the doors open, all of the collars, the collars on his mother and father fall off, and good old family reunion with Mirio and his fucking family. Yay. But, Izuku still stands there looking at all the pros and some of the students. And he's just standing there. And he says, so, all of you were standing there like deer in headlights. So I have a question. I extend that offer to all of you. And I do mean it. All of you do have a choice. To die a hero's death, or survive to do good another day. What is your options? Bakugo, still being battered, beaten, bruised, launches an AP shot at Izuku, which he simply dodges, pulls out a Desert Eagle, and splatters Bakugo's fucking brains all over the concrete, and says, "Fuck, that felt good. I've been waiting to do that for fucking years." He just looks at Katsuki. Well, I'm double tap. Like, I'm making sure his ass is dead. I don't want to deal with his shit no more. Puts his gun away. And he's like, anyone else? So, do you choose to die or survive? Which one? I'm not gonna lie to you, like, the people that were there, most of them are dead, heavily injured, or in critical condition. So, like, Mirko says nah and immediately gets shot by 60 people. And says, anyone else? Anyone else? Join or die. That's your choice. Come on, fuck. It's not that difficult. Well, fucking, Ryuku fucking thinks, tries to fucking go dragon form again, fucking get shot so much that her scales could not take it. Especially the intensity of the lasers that should tear through people. She got fucked. Royal. Like, Jesus. She got so many holes in her. She is fucking cheese, dog. Like on some Tom and Jerry cheese shit. She not okay. She's super dead. But anyway, and this is like going on at this point. Live television. As well as like heroes that were in the area are trying to get there, but people are fucking coming out of the woodwork, knocking them out, or giving them the chance to join Hydra, and like giving them the chip, because like everybody in Hydra, like, you have a chip. Everyone knows what the chips do now. After all of them got hit, and they're like, hey, you can put a chip in fucking anybody. Like, all of them has like 6 chips that they can inject people with to like consolidate loyalty. So a lot of fucking people, as well as villains and heroes, are getting fucking recruited almost immediately. All For One's like, I mean, not All For One, All Might is just like, why? Why are you doing this? And he's like, oh, simple. I'm going to change the disgusting world that we live in. There will be no more money-hungry, fame-hungry whores that flaunt their asses on cameras. No. No. Everyone will be saved. No exception. That is how it will be ruled. And that is how it will be done. So help me God. I will change this world for the better. Whether you like it or not, times are a-changing. And I want this to be known to everyone who listens. If you were with me, I promise as bedding, housing, and food. The basic essentials for living. To those who have to scrape and claw by for basic essential items like food and water. Basic human essentials. Our doors are forever open to you. To those who continue crime and do not fall under heel of my control, I will line you up in the middle of the street. On a cross. I refuse to let this incessant babbling keep going. For instance, those who are inside the prison known as Tartarus, all of them, as we speak, are being chipped, given a gun, armor, and told if they do not heal, they will die. I do not give second chances. Those who have done wrongs will be punished to the full extent that I can give them. Those who use their power in the hero community to get sway, to get women, money, matters not. Not your status. What you believe to be status, you will die the same on a cross. Crucifixion is one of the most painful ways to die. Other than just regular torture. But if you join my cause, we will rid the world of things such as, but not limited to, laws that forbid the usage of quirks to defend yourself from others. Quirks are a way and a thing that could be used for great interest. So guess what? They will be used to the full extent. Free usage of quirks, as long as they do not harm or scar another. That is it. That is my new purpose. To not just change Japan, but to change the world. And I do not wish for the idiocy of bureaucrats and Democrats, all that shit. We live one thing, one thing, and one thing only. What is it? He screams out to the crowd. For Hydra, They reply in sync. What do we fight for? The pinnacle of justice. How will we deliver it? With no mercy. And how will we gain stability through force if needed? But for those who are broken, we hang our heads low, knowing what must be done. Hail Hydra. And that is where we will end the entirety of this series. Izuku would slowly but surely take over Japan in waves, causing splinter cells of Hydra to be formed in other countries and slowly but surely take over the world. After this, Hydra works for a very good benefit. A utopian/dystopian future for the universe of My Hero Academia. But basic human needs are met regardless. A bed, a blanket, food and water is denied to no one. Greed, granted, is important, but there will always be rebellions, old splinter cell groups, and there will always be crime. But there's one thing that will be said and set in stone. There is a plaque of every man, woman, and child that have died in each country, state, everywhere, that have died or gone missing. In each country, each place, each city. They will not hide how they did it. And they will pay the family his recompense for their lost and dead. But they promise to change the world for the better, which they do. Modern medicine skyrockets after the act of the crucified are now no longer considered human beings. Those who are considered the crucified are those who kill without reason, and those who cannot or refuse to be a productive member of society, to be filled with greed. But as I said, this is the end, old friend. And hail to Hydra. Hail to what we stand for. I hope you all enjoyed this series. Truly, granted, it got better. But I realized something. Villain what-ifs are a good stick. I could really throw them out really fucking nicely. But yeah, all 100 and at the moment 4 of you, it is nice to meet you. My name is Soundwave What If Drone, and I will be here for a while. Have a nice day, and go fuck yourselves.